I'm going to show you how I have restrung my pearls. Basically, these were the old ones, and they were broken in several places. The reason there's a knot between them is if they're real, you don't want to lose them if you break them, and they would all come off. So they tie a knot in between each one so that if they break, you don't lose them. There's lots of different colors of cotton thread that you can find to match the closest in thickness and in color. There's different colors of pearls. These ones are a little bit wider, and so the strand would be a little bit wider. I have another set in here that's a little bit yellower in between the in some places, just from age. Anyway, this thickness was the closest I could find to what was already on there. And then you take a needle. You can buy a package of different sizes of needles, and you need to find one that will actually fit and slip through the needle, the pearl itself. So you need to get a length longer than the pearls that you have. And get this there. And so you get the string longer, obviously, than you want it to be in case the tip breaks, because as you're pulling it through, it gets a little ratty. And so you might need some pliers. I just have these needle nose pliers. That will help you pull it through if it's a little bit tight. But basically you cut off one at a time. I don't like to have them running loose. And you make sure it will fit through the pearl. And then you pull it through. And sometimes if it's a little stiff, you want to make sure that the needle isn't too thick, because it can, cause damage. So you want to make sure it's just enough that you can pull it through. So on some of them where the hole's a little tight, I might need the pliers to help pull it through, but not always. So then once you get it on, I'm having a hard time. I should put it on what's it called, a tripod. But anyway, just kind of sitting watching a movie tonight and decided to go ahead and do this. I've had it for a while, so that's why I'm just kind of not real bright. But okay, let's see if I can do this close up so you can see it. So once you have it on, like you've got it on, you can see how there's a knot in between each one of them. So how I tie the knot is I take the needle and loop it through. Just pull it through. Okay, I don't know, it's just too close. Let's try it again. You take the needle and you make a loop in the thread. Just one. And then you start pulling it closer and closer to the pearl. Don't pull the loop so tight because it will tie a knot up here and then you're in trouble. You want to get as close to the pearl as you can. And once you're about this point, I put the needle in the knot and pull. And I push the pearl as close to the other knot as I can. And I keep the needle in there so that I can wiggle the needle as close to the pearl as I can and get the knot as close to the pearl as I can. And then you don't want to slip the needle through the knot or it'll cause a bigger knot. So what you do is you pull the needle back out and use your fingernail to push it as close to the pearl as you can, so that they're consistent. Now, some of them are loose, but even on the original one, some of them are looser. You just try to keep it as tight as you can, but the differences give it kind of a character, and each different string of pearls has its own character. So That's how you do it. You just put a new one on, loop it like this, pull it tight, put the needle in, and then pull it through. And then once you've got the strand done, you can then attach it to whatever kind of clasp you have. There are lots of different kinds of clasps on pearls. There's kind of the decorative clasps that you tie through there, and they have new little clasp fixings that you can put on there. They have this type, which are tied on. Usually, though, they look like this, and they have the metal. You put the string through this in here, tie it off, and then you clamp it closed, and then you attach your fixings. But there's just several different types. But you can go to any jewelry store that has jewelry, Michael's, Robert's, any kind of craft store or jewelry making store, bead store, and buy different kinds of clasps that maybe would work better. But basically, the restringing is the hardest.